I'm Robert Wasserman. Annie's maiden name was Wasserman. My dad and her dad were brothers, and I grew up in Winthrop, same town as Annie, a mile and a half apart. I'm 5 years older than she was, and our families were close, and we used to get together a lot. My earliest memories were my Uncle Gene and my Aunt Lois, and Annie, who we call Tex. I guess first let me. I don't know if you guys can see this. It says, "You can't scare me. I have a daughter." And maybe I'll speak to that right away and get it out of the way. But basically, uh, my Uncle Gene was about 2 or 3 years older than my dad. My dad had me when he was 40, and I'm 72 now, and he would have been 65, 66. But Uncle Gene was in his late 40s when when he became a father, and he was a very bright man and kind of a Renaissance man, really. And I actually bought this from my own daughter, who was is great. She's about 30. She lives in LA. She does film, and she's amazing. But I never worried about her because she was very independent, strong-willed, strong-minded, and I never worried about her being talked into anything she didn't want to do. Does that sound like anybody? So, with my own daughter, when she was maybe 2 or 2.5, I was, and for you younger folks, you won't get this, but I'd be reasoning with her. She'd be 2.5, saying, "Honey, you can't do that because of X, Y, Z." And but Dad, what about can't digest? And these negotiations would go on, and I'd go to her like, "Who do you think I am, Monty Hall? Do you think this is let's make a deal?" and then I'd cave, and she was such a good negotiator. But Annie was just, something. We'll never see her like again. She was, as has been mentioned, she just, you knew where you stood with her. She was so direct, and so honest, and so open, and so loving, and so anti-BS. And if you had any BS, she was all over. She was in your face, and she had her strong opinions, politically, whatever, how to train dogs, and I've come from a ways. I came from the high desert of New Mexico, just a little bit out of Albuquerque, just the other night, and there was some confusion about which night I was coming, right, cousins? It was the plane landed after midnight, and anyway, but it was great. I was rescued by Linda and Arnold, and it was good. But so Annie and I were together a lot when we were young, not so much later. And then we were like close friends on Facebook, and I actually met Michael one time, probably 15 years ago, I don't know, it might have been a little more or less. We were in a restaurant, and we were traveling with 3 kids, 3 dogs. I mean, it was crazy. But anyway, we went and we sat with her then, and I tried to hook up with her, on our yearly trips back to New England, but she said Sequoia would be incompatible with our dogs, and somehow we couldn't seem to arrange to meet at a restaurant. But we stayed in touch on Facebook and by phone. And the last contact I had with her directly was maybe a 2-hour phone call a couple of months ago. It was about my dog was old and sick, and I was looking for some advice and help, and then we started talking about everything, as we always did. My wife's not here to tase me, to tell me to shut up and sit down. And everybody who knows her knows she's a very gentle soul, kind of like Mother Nature, and she would never do that, but that's what about her anyway. Oh yeah. So all I can really say about Annie is she's a critical thinker. She was just, she went her own way and was true to herself, and her dad loved her, just unconditionally, and Lois was sort of strong and independent too. Gene was just a kind of cerebral guy, and I don't know, she got all that from them, and she loved horses. Ever since she was, little. Where's Barbara? Do you remember that she just loved horses when she was super little? Yeah, and Gene, engineering mind, he built this carousel for her with horses. It was a spectacular thing. And, you know, we all came to see it and admire it. It was incredible, and she loved it. And then, God help us, when she finally got her own horses, I mean, you know, hog heaven. Okay, terrific person, as you all know. Just, you know, we'll just never see her like again. We'll just, I mean, you know, and we'll miss it. And I hope to meet some of you guys personally, you know, many of whom, you know, I've heard of, you know, talking to Ian, but haven't met. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol.
Joni? Joni was one of Ann's dearest friends. She runs a place called Wolf Hollow.
Oh.